I had to mess with the audio a little bit and everything, actually, because believe it or not, sharing Google was much harder than it needed to be, but that's kind of just, that's a given sometimes. That's just how it works. All right, so here is our Messier object tier list. This is just coming right off of the back of well, this is coming straight from the Messier marathon, and let's hope that everything is working well. Hopefully the audio is all good.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm waiting to hear how our audio is, and we can wait a few minutes too for like the notification people to pop up.
True, we definitely could. This should not be too much of a problem. Hopefully it's not. Looks like everything is going okay too. Neat.
Cool. Yeah, so for people who are just joining right now, I just got the notification on my phone, so everyone might be getting their notification now. So for the people who are just joining, we're doing a Messier tier list.
Yes.
So we'll be ranking all the objects that we just looked at this past weekend and rating them from the best to worst.
And this is all opinion too. I mean,
all opinion.
See, it's all opinion, but it's not up for debate. That's how it's gonna go, I guess. There's a lot of great objects in this list. As anybody might have seen this weekend, there are like plenty of super cool things in the Messier catalog and like super underwhelming things comparatively. And here we have kind of a list of all the Messier objects. Unfortunately, none of them are in order, so
no, they're not.
We're going to be kind of taking our not our best guess because we have all these images downloaded, but we're going to try to not mess up anything. If we do, that's fine, I guess, because we're kind of rating them out kind of like off of what we think how cool they look and like their purpose they serve to us or whatever, because again, this is all biased. It's a tier list. It's our opinion. That's it. And we're not doing any interactive stargazing today because snow.
There's lots of snow up here.
Yes.
March snow, and we're gonna get some more snow at the end of the week. So
yeah, probably even tonight as well. A little bit more. There was not enough to like cover up the roads completely, but the sky is completely blocked out. Like there's absolutely nothing that you can see, and there's going to be no chance we can even see anything for the remainder of the night. But that doesn't mean we can't do anything. As again, Messier tier list. So we might as well kick it off with just some of our objects here, and we might as well start with like what we know.
Yeah.
M1, right?
Let's do M1, yeah.
M1 right off the bat. This guy right here, supernova remnant. That already makes it like really cool, right? Yeah. You have a star that imploded and then just exploded, and what's left behind is this object, M1.
It's a cool one.
The Crab Nebula, the Crab Remnant. Goes by a few names, a few titles, but it's super sick. It looks really awesome, and I guess we're gonna have to agree here, Hannah, as to like where we want these objects to be, because not every one of these objects we're gonna agree in unison to be in one specific tier. But I feel like because not only is this starting off the catalog, but it's like starting off the catalog strong. This is something that you definitely cannot like miss if you get the chance to.
Well, we can average our opinion. So if you think something's really good and I don't, we can average it to be like in between that.
That's true.
M1, I mean, I don't know. I was gonna say there's some definitely cooler objects than M1, but M1's a cool object, so I was gonna say like A or B.
I definitely think it would be towards the higher end of the list, only because definitely. Like again, like all of the things that I was talking about, it's important. It starts off the list. It's a supernova remnant, and there's not too many of those that are really, I guess, cataloged for long enough that they stay in a list as the first object. So I think it is kind of special, and I do think that it should probably be in A.
Yeah, let's do A.
Let's do A. Okay, I totally agree with that.
There it goes.
That is not a bad spot for it to be. So yes, Crab Remnants sitting comfortably in A. It's beautiful, it's great, but I think the only thing that's stopping it from being S tier, highest tier possible, is that when you look at it with an optical telescope, it's really not as apparent as some of these other objects. It's kind
That
of
is true.
it's
That is
super
something
ghostly.
to consider.
And yeah, I mean, I feel like it
Well,
would have been an S if it were like very visible, but
now that you bring that up, how are we gonna rate these just based off how they look through a telescope and like in general? I guess like
I think kind of a combo. Yeah, kind of average it out and see, because again, crab really cool, really awesome. Conceptually starts off the list strong, but looking at it through a telescope, it's you know I wouldn't call it nothing special, but there are definitely other objects in the list that would absolutely overpower it, just as a matter of like viewability. So A it is, A it is. You know, can't can't really deny that. I feel like. Cool.
okay.
All right, so should we just go to another nebula? We can go to M57.
Which one's M57?
Ring? Ring? Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Ring.
All right. I feel it. The Ring Nebula.
Oh my god, these ones are hard. We're starting off with hard ones already because these ones are like really visually appealing and really cool. Ring Nebula.
I mean, those are also the ones we're going to remember easier, because there's a lot of like open star clusters and globs here that are just littering the view. And you're going to have to tell me which ones those are, since you got the pictures.
Yeah, I know. I'm already trying to study which ones are which. But okay, so for Ring Nebula, I don't want to litter the S tier with a whole bunch of objects, but I think Ring Nebula is also really up there, so probably another A.
I'd say, yeah, between like A or B, I feel like, it's a really good view, and you can see it through telescopes, and it's a planetary nebula, death of a sun-like star. But I feel like it's overrated, kind of.
Because it's really popular, but then
exactly.
again, it's a really easy one, like for beginners too. That one, like compared to crab, at least, like.
That's true. Like it's still really important, nebulae are great, but whenever it's like the death of a star, those nebulae are a little bit more few and far between. But I do think, the ring, it looks super cool through really any telescope, and yeah, it's great for just your average amateur astronomer to just go at and look at. And with that in mind, yeah, I think it would be at the higher end of the list as well, just because, like, we're starting off with those visually appealing objects, but ranking them perfectly is going to be kind of difficult. I think, though, because it's overrated. Yeah, because it's overrated, I don't think it's like S tier material, because
no, definitely not. It's not S tier material. Like it's a really cool object, but not S tier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's again really cool to look at, but you can ask anybody who like has their own little telescope in a good enough sky, and they've most likely either tried to look for it or have already seen it. And in that respect, it's not really like a hidden gem or anything. I mean, it's really, really beautiful. But yeah, I think we're gonna have to mosey into A tier with it, keep it there, and let it be.
Okay.
Cool. Awesome. All right, on to the next one. What are you thinking we should rank next?
I'm trying to figure out which ones are which. I'm like looking at the pictures, objects, trying to figure out which one it is. So let me see what that galaxy is. That first one.
The first galaxy there. All right, that's fine.
Yeah, it's like a little pretty spiral. So it looks like that one is. Oh, there's so many galaxies. I don't know. Oh, that's M100.
M100. I think I remember seeing that over the weekend, and it's a very, very pretty spiral. I don't really remember the facts about
really
it too many.
Pretty. I think it's a intermediate barred spiral. It kind of looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I don't know. It looks like it kind of has a bar through it though. That's a really nice one.
It's a nice galaxy. I think.
Okay, just to get straight to the point, I think it should be a B.
That's where I was gonna go as well. Like, spiral galaxies are kind of littered throughout the entire Messier catalog, and there's quite a few that really do stand out. But yeah. I think actually I'll play kind of a devil's advocate here, and I'll say that a lot of these intermediate spirals, and I guess kind of like the spirals that start to look similar, they kind of feel. I kind of feel like they should be in the C spot at least.
The C.
Yes, and hear me out here, because there's a lot to spirals. Don't get me wrong. Spiral galaxies are some of my favorite things in the sky to look at, but because there's so many in the catalog, I feel like if we put that in B, or really anything higher, we kind of have to put almost all the spirals because they would kind of follow suit.
Okay. No, I agree. So we'll do that one. Yeah, that one's C. It's like very
Mhm.
average. It's like very neutral.
It's neutral. Like it's a very pretty view. It's something that M100 is not something that's talked about often. So it's something that you can definitely try to see because it's again in the Messier catalog, and all the Messier objects are at least great to attempt on your own. With even smaller telescopes. But it's not overrated. It's not underrated. It's not anything ridiculously special either. It's a really pretty galaxy, but sea material kind of feels where it should be. Just don't tell any of the residents of that galaxy that we're putting them there.
It is an intermediate spiral, so.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I like that. Okay. Yeah, and it doesn't have a name. It doesn't have like a nickname or anything too. So yeah. Did you put it in C already?
Yes, it's already in C. It's all good to go. I think next we should go for another galaxy, but one that I'm a little more fond of. So this one's going to be kind of a biased placement, but that's kind of the whole point of a tier list to begin with. M82, the Cigar Galaxy. This guy down here, if you can see that.
Oh, okay.
I think that honestly, this can be a very underrated object. It's something that is hunted for by people, amateur astronomers, whoever. But it's not really talked about all too much for how great of a galaxy it is for viewing with smaller telescopes and even larger telescopes, as it has like darker lanes to it because of its starburst nature. So it kind of contrasts the sky a little bit more than some of the elliptical galaxies or brighter spirals. It's not as diffuse, so it doesn't kind of die off as a matter of structure. M82, you can see the structure in it. You can see the dustiness and kind of that general lane that cuts across the sky. And that makes it personally one of my favorite things to view in the sky, period. And in the Messier catalog, it really, it's nice compared to other galaxies. I think the only issue is it's really hard to get sometimes because of its positioning in the sky. It's more north than anything. So, even up at the Godo with some of those telescopes, it can be very hard to get during certain times of the year. So you have a very, very small window to see it. And, otherwise, I think personally, I would put this in S.
I was going to say S. I think this one deserves to be S tier.
I think it really does. But, how much would that, not being able to see it with certain telescopes or even certain positions, how much would that affect it? I don't feel like it would affect it too much.
I think the nature of the galaxy itself being a starburst galaxy, and honestly just how cool it looks, outweighs the challenging aspects of finding it through a telescope.
That's a totally fair observation, and I think for that I would definitely agree because the view definitely does outweigh kind of everything in the respect of not being able to see certain parts of it or not being able to see it at all during certain times of the year or just like being unlucky with positioning. Because when you actually see it, you really do see it. And I think that does make it special. So M82, I think, should be our first S tier object. It's an awesome galaxy to look at. It's a different type of galaxy. It's not, any typical classification. It's a peculiar galaxy, which is kind of neat in its own respect, too. So it deserves that spot. Thank you, Lady Eagles, for the follow. Cool. On to the next pick here. And if anyone in Twitch chat wants to dispute this a little bit amongst yourselves, you're more than welcome to. But again, you're not gonna sway us. This is all our opinion. You can do your best. I mean, like if you make some killer argument, just saying like, oh, this object, I've been there or something, then maybe that would really change things. But yes, welcome again to anybody who's just joining us for the evening.
We are ranking the Messier objects.
We are ranking all the objects that we can.
Okay, so do you see that the third image next to the spindle?
This one here.
Yep.
Yes.
That's M103.
Okay.
And that one I would say is a D or an F.
I kind of have to agree with you, to be completely honest. I mean, I've attempted seeing this a few times, but it's never good enough of a view to really warrant going back or putting it into like some rotational itinerary of objects you want to see. Let's say you're doing a program or showing some stuff off to the public. it's not
It's
really
just
anything
the open
crazy.
cluster.
Yeah, it's literally
And
just
it's
an
not
open
a good
cluster.
one either.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I guess if you're out of objects for the night, and like, let's say this is your last thing that you have in the sky, then I think you could go for it. But besides that, it's an open cluster, and I'm sure there's people who really think that this is special. But to me personally, I don't think it's anything special compared to other open star clusters that you can see. And throughout the entire night, you usually have better options. So yeah, I think this is just straight up B and F. I think that's going to be our first just bottom tier object, just because
It really is nothing special.
yeah, it doesn't feel as crazy as some of these objects can be. Even conceptually, you can explain what's going on considerably better simply by just looking at another object, by just going somewhere else altogether. So the M103, F, F.
F tier.
It's yeah,
Sorry,
it's down there.
M103. Okay. So I'm trying to, in the folder that I have, I'm trying to get rid of the ones we've already done.
But yeah, that's a great idea.
We've done that one. Okay.
We could
Just
go
so maybe
to.
we can narrow down the the globs.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, the globular star cluster and open star cluster is going to be kind of a pain, and I think that's going to be kind of reliant on like how many times we've seen it to put it into certain categories or classifications. And I feel like next up, though, we should go with something that we are familiar with, something a little bit more, I guess, familiar, something that we're a little bit more familiar with, and we should go to the dumbbell
Dumbbell?
nebula. Is it
I think
M27, right?
For me, that's a decent B. That is like, for me, representative of B.
Yeah, you see the dumbbell. It's like it's more diffuse than the ring, right? It's still a really good object to look at, but you know, it's not really as mind blowing as something like the Ring Nebula. It's still very beautiful. The colors in it are really great, and if you're able to capture it with some long exposure photography, dumbbell's great, right? But
Yeah.
it's it's just like it's your inoffensive go-to other planetary nebula, because I
It's
believe
the
it's
other one. That's the thing.
yeah.
What you just said, it's the other one. You know, it's not the planetary nebula that you think about. It's the other one.
It's like if you're listing in a program what you're going to do, because I believe that and M57 are up during the same time of the year. So if you're going to go for a planetary, you go to M57 first, and then you go to the dumbbell nebula. Like it's not like you don't go to dumbbell first unless you're losing it behind a tree or something and you want to see it. But it's also like it doesn't warrant anything less than a B, really. Like it's still very pretty. It's still really
Yeah.
conceptually cool. So I agree. I think B it is. Just it's there. It's sitting pretty and it's fine. I like it's great. It's cool. It's above average.
I agree. Above average. Well, no, I think that's kind of just like average, I would say. B is average. Okay, do you want to do another S tier? Because I think I see another S tier.
What do you think is the next tier here?
To me, I think Eagle is S tier.
You know, I think you're right. Honestly, I have to agree here.
Creation.
Exactly. And like those, even though it may be overrated, because you'll see it plastered on every desktop wallpaper. It's like the first search result on Google if you just type in space. It's plastered everywhere, but I think it's plastered everywhere for good reason. Like it's not like M57, the Ring Nebula, which is like, all the amateur astronomers, everybody's kind of talking about it. The Eagle Nebula is just it's plain beautiful, and capturing it with long exposure photography or just even like other wavelengths of light too, it still looks stunning. It still looks really great, and it's much more diverse than something such as the Ring Nebula. So yeah, I think that should just be a quick S tier because it doesn't really require too much explanation. It's in its own field. It's kind of in its own league on its just simply because it's really pretty.
Well, the reason why I really like it is not okay. When I say how it looks, I don't mean like aesthetics. I mean because you can visually see like what's happening inside the nebula. You can see little baby stars being born, and that's why like the nebula looks like little fingers, it's because of that stellar wind. And I think that's cool because you can like visually see like the process of the star being formed and like what happens, that thick, dense gas, and then like the stellar winds blowing it out. So I really like that.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I think even both aesthetics and conceptually, like, it still does
Yeah,
look really
it
cool.
is really pretty aesthetically too.
Yeah, it fits in the S tier. It's going to be the second S object, and yes, we're going to try not to litter the S tier with much of anything, simply because it's the S tier. It's reserved for the best of the best objects, and I mean, you could be the glass half full person and be like, oh, all these objects are S tier, period. But there are admittedly a lot of objects in here that are super underwhelming when you do look at them, and I mean, they're not necessarily objects that you would absolutely try to go for, but they're still really great to see no matter what. So even if you see something you love in the F tier, just take it with a grain of salt, look at it yourself, and just, again, this is all our opinion. But next up, should we go for, what do you think we should go for? Maybe another galaxy? Because it's been a bit since we've talked about a galaxy here.
Here, I froze up for a second. Also, Danielle asked if you could boost my audio.
Boost your audio? Yeah, I got you.
So quiet. It's because I don't have headphones and I forgot my headphones this time. I'm trying to discern like what some of these different globular clusters are.
Yeah, those can be a pain, but
I know. I'm gonna say I think we should just like lump up. Oh, actually, no. I can't tell. They all look the same. I think that one under the first galaxy, I think that is M10.
M10.
Maybe, but like it looks like all the other ones.
Let's save and lump the clusters because those are kind of hard to discern. This website we're using actually doesn't let us have like little tags or anything, and
yeah, it doesn't let us label them.
Unfortunately, I have much more to memorize than all 110 Messier objects, so there's a lot of these numbers that kind of elude me, but it's the ones that, like, you know, you'll see like 50 times a year that really do stick.
Okay, let's do that little pink one with the stars in it.
This one here where the cursor is. The one
I
I'm
don't
grabbing.
see your cursor. Where's your cursor? I don't see it.
I'm like grabbing the thing. Is it this one you're talking about?
No. Up. That's a galaxy.
This one.
No. To the left. Left.
Woo. This.
And down.
Down.
No. Up, left.
This one.
That one.
Yes.
That's M29.
M29. Okay, when you say pink one with the stars in it, there's like 8 of those pictures, so that's kind of
Okay, if it's a galaxy, I'll say galaxy, but
okay.
I don't know how else to describe that one.
Awesome.
M29 is just an open cluster. But it has that pink nebulosity.
That's what I was gonna say. That nebulosity makes it a little bit more special than other clusters. I mean, that pink nebulosity though in the background is not something that you're really gonna pick up with, you know, optical telescopes unless you
need a filter.
Yeah, unless you're filtering it in like a perfect environment. So I don't know. I remember seeing this cluster, but only a handful of times. Like, this isn't something that I've gone back to repeatedly, but I know that there is a little bit more special, you know, attributed to it in the form of that nebulosity behind the cluster.
Well, okay, think about it this way. What would you rate Pleiades?
I feel like, though, that's kind of a weird, kind of backwards question. In that, you know, the Pleiades, they're kind of an object that have left their mark in the sky. They're an object that has been talked about for a very long time. And as far as, like, you know, what they meant to civilizations, etc. goes, the Pleiades are something that I feel like are much more special than just any given open star cluster with a little bit of nebulosity with them. You know, Pleiades you can see with your naked eye, but this object you're not going to exactly be able to just point at with your hand and go, that's it right there.
Well, that answers my question, because then I think we should rate, this one's M29, so this one should be like a B or a C, but Pleiades, we kind of killed 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah, I agree.
An S.
I think the Pleiades are something that when you try to look at them with a telescope, it can become an issue. you're going to need a very small telescope in order to see a lot of those stars to begin with. And unless you're really interested in very specific parts of the cluster, very specific stars or regions, looking at it through even any larger than maybe like a 4 or 5 inch telescope, it's going to return just, again, a few stars or a very small region, which, bar the cultural impact, that can be a little bit of an issue when it comes to like enjoying this object or enjoying the Pleiades in general. So I don't feel like they should be an S tier object, but A tier seems fine.
But if you think about it, like, what better open clusters are there than the Pleiades?
I feel like, though, then you have to take into consideration non-Messier objects, because if you're trying to look at open star clusters, something that looks really nice, then you could point it towards like one of the open star clusters near Cassiopeia or Perseus, and you can see everything more tightly compacted, and all the stars still look relatively young, which is kind of what you want to look for when you're trying to view open star clusters, because that's what discerns them from others. The Pleiades, though, yes, you have that nebulosity, they're very close, and you can see the blue glow just with your naked eye if you're in a good enough spot. And that's why I think it should be in the A tier, but what really removes it from the S tier is that, like, if you are using any large telescope or any powerful telescope, it's an object that you don't necessarily look at ever. You want to avoid it so that you can look at any of those non-Messier clusters, because you get kind of a better view out of it in a way. You can see more because it's more condensed, right?
I see. Okay, fine. We'll do A for that. And then M29 will be like a C?
I think a C would be perfect, because conceptually...
It's better than the other open clusters.
Yeah, exactly. It's really cool. It's better than a lot of the open clusters. But, like, again, you look at it through an optical telescope, you don't see all of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, totally agree with you there. On the diagonal, thank you for the follow. Hope all's well for you. Cool. All right. We have a lot of the list left, but it's fine. We'll get through all of it. I might have to speed run some of the clusters, because just a lot of them are just kind of down there, M33 in the thumbnail. Yes, a lot of these thumbnails make everything kind of, it leaves a little to be desired. But for what it goes, it's all opinion based anyways. So.
So
Such is life.
Do you want to do some of those edge-on spirals?
I feel like some edge-on spirals would be nice. In particular, we could do the second
So the first
galaxy
one, that's the spindle, and then the second one's sombrero.
Yes. We could probably do sombrero first, because I feel like that's a little bit more...
Okay.
It's something that's a little bit easier to decide on, in my opinion, because I feel like sombrero is an easy A.
What do you think?
I think it's an easy A.
You think it's an A?
I genuinely think it's an A, because, you can, again, similar to M82, you can see the structure very nicely, because it appears much more darker and less diffuse than those other galaxies that are kind of, I guess, face-on, where their surface brightness is not great, but you can see, at least a little bit of something. But with the Sombrero Galaxy, like I was saying, similar to M82, you can make it out in the sky with a good enough telescope.
But no, it's really tiny.
It is small. I mean, it's far away, right? It's
a really tiny one visually. With a telescope, it really, you can't see a lot just visually. I was gonna say I think it's a B.
Actually, that's fair. Yeah, because you have to have a pretty strong telescope to be able to see it in the first place. And I think even through the 24-inch diode, which we got a picture of it, I think, a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Like, it looked great. It looked good, but that's, again, a 24-inch telescope. And I think I've actually attempted it with something smaller. I think it was a 16-inch. And even with a good enough magnification, it didn't come through as great as I'd like it to. I might just be kind of biased because of Sombrero Galaxy. It is very pretty, and when you see it...
It's popular. It's a popular one. Everyone
exactly.
knows it. And so it has that fame, but, like, besides that, it's a B.
Yeah. You know what? That's fair. That's fair. I think that's great. What up, Percival Lowell's Ghost? How's it going? What's up?
I'm like looking around.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
we're
gotta check
literally like
behind him.
right by his mausoleum.
Exactly. He's literally buried like 50 feet away from this building.
Literally right there.
So yes, he walks amongst us. Um, Lunar Glare, thank you for the follow. What's up? How's it going? What's popping? All right. All right.
Okay.
True.
Let's do this. The spindle M102.
Constance is as angry as ever, and yes, please haunt the Clark as usual. Just the kind of scary background noises in that telescope. Go. Yeah. All right. One Eye Hacker 2010. Thank you for the follow. What is up? All right, Hannah. What's next?
M102. M102 Spindle Galaxy.
Okay.
That one, I think. Either a B or a C. You know what? I feel like Spindle's a little bit better than Sombrero though because it looks visually bigger.
I agree, and I do think that it's underrated too.
But then now I'm thinking, do we lower Sombrero to a C and put Spindle as a B?
That might be something that we actually have to do here. I feel like changing it would be needed. Because yeah, the spindle. The spindle looks good. Yeah, it does look good, and it's severely underrated compared to something like the Sombrero.
Yeah, it is. It's really underrated.
So yeah,
let's do that.
We'll just quickly exchange spots.
Nice. I feel good about that.
Absolutely.
I feel like that's where it belongs.
I need to like burp. I have no idea. Okay, forget that.
Okay. Let's see.
Do you want to do another Nebula? Because we got plenty of nebulae still. We got plenty of nebulae.
Which one? Point to it.
What's from the image? This is Orion, right?
That's Orion.
That's Orion. I think that's an easy yes. Easy yes.
Yeah, that's here. That's here.
It's overrated, yes, because everybody looks at it, but everybody looks at it for a reason. Just like the Eagle Nebula,
Beautiful.
But this one, I mean, if there was an S++ tier, Orion would fit there. It's one of the most beautiful places in the sky that you could
Should we make an S++ double S tier?
No, because I think that'd be redundant. It fits in there, but I would think that it actually I mean, it would be the number one. Orion's Orion. If you see it, you're gonna enjoy your night, right? And this is something that you could see with even like a strong pair of binoculars. It's not, something you have to hunt for. You just point your telescope, your binoculars, or whatever towards the constellation of Orion.
You can see it with your naked eyes.
Yeah,
it's
right into the sword.
Beautiful object.
Right into the sword. You can't miss it if it's up, and it's setting right now. So anybody who hasn't seen it and have your own personal telescope, look at it, please, if you have the chance, because it's great. It's a great object, and it's very fun to just stare at for minutes on end.
It looks so beautiful. Even without a filter or anything, it's a really beautiful one to look at.
True statement.
With the Dyer telescope, okay, so I've seen it through the Clark and the Dyer and the 32, and I think it looks best through the Dyer. When I saw it, I literally almost cried. I was like, this is so beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody has that initial time when they look at the Orion Nebula with a really good telescope, and you're able to see much more of the light kind of be collected. And it kind of just hits you that even though this thing's about 1,400 light years away, it looks like it's something you could just reach out and kind of whisk your hand through, and like it's just like a cloud of smoke right next to you. It's really, really pretty. Yeah, easy yes. I've
Jacob,
never seen an easy yes.
I'm getting nervous now that we're getting close to some of these elliptical galaxies.
Well, I mean, we all know every elliptical galaxy is an S right off the bat.
Let's do one. Let me figure out one.
Do M87. If you could figure out which one is M87, which I think it's this one right here, if I'm not mistaken. This really bright one in the bottom right area.
87.
I have my opinion on that.
Which one? Put your cursor on it.
M87. It's this one right here.
No.
Is it not that
one?
one?
It's the one right next to it.
This one? That's M87.
M87. What are you gonna do with that? Don't you dare put that in S tier.
No. Hear me out. Black hole picture.
Don't you put that thing there.
Black hole picture. Black hole picture.
That came from M87?
Yes, and it literally confirmed something that was just kind of this mathematical anomaly. It just straight up confirmed it, right? Like we got that picture and we're like, whoa, our I guess very educated prediction was, correct, right? And I think in that respect, even though M87, it's just like a headlight through a fog, it's crazy. It's crazy just to think about that. Like, every galaxy has its own supermassive black hole, but that one in particular is just like, it's important just for that. First time that's happened, right? So, yeah, I will make the case for M87 being an S.
Okay, fine. I agree. That's true. You made very solid points. I don't like it, but I agree. I can't let my emotions get in the way of fact.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that is another easy S, simply for what it brings to the table, not optically, not visually. But that's kind of the point, right? Like, there's really visually pleasing objects in like A tier that aren't in S tier, like the Pleiades. But it's for a reason. It's for good reason. Everyone in chat is saying that M17 deserves an S. I think M17, the Swan Nebula, it's very pretty, and I think that it is something that deserves more recognition, but I don't think, I don't think it deserves an S because of where it's at in the sky.
Well, also, if you think of like Eagle and you think of Orion, you're not like, oh, Swan is equal. It's like it's not an equal. Like it's a little bit below that. I don't put personally Swan up there with Eagle and Orion. It's a good one.
It's a good one. It's a great one, but it's also like in the very southern part of the sky.
Yeah.
And it's up during the summer. You can see it nice during the summer. Yes, you can see much more structure in the Swan than Orion. That's definitely true, because there's like kind of much more cloudiness to it. It kind of like arches over. But because you lose it so easily in the southern sky,
it's a short period of time.
It's kind of difficult. And like if you live anywhere with trees, which Flagstaff, you lose it even during the summer. Like if it gets too late, it's already gone. It's already in the southern part of the sky, so you're already battling city lights, more atmosphere, more air. So it's kind of like, yes, it's a beautiful object, but kind of where it's situated, it's not as great as the Orion Nebula, because you can see Orion like when it's directly above, and it looks great, right? For months on end. But then, Swan comes up, and then just as fast as it shows up in the sky, it's already gone.
Some people are making good points in chat. Percival Lowell's Ghost says M17 is so easy to overexpose.
That's true. That's true too, actually.
But Dr. Danielle says, by that rationale, M103 is an S because it's in Cancer.
See, there's so much like little things that you have to take into account that it's really it's always hard to make those decisions.
Yeah, because with M103, it's an F because it's ugly. It's ugly. There's no other way to put it. It's ugly.
Yeah. I mean, like that's why I don't think
outweighs the accessibleness. And also, there's so many other open clusters in Cassiopeia. It's really hard to discern which open cluster is which. So. Exactly.
Yeah. True statement. True statement. Absolutely true statement right there. So. I think M17 should go into A tier, right?
Yeah,
because it's great. It's a beautiful object, and when you see it, you see it. But again, it's gone. It's already gone. Like
on the diagonal says M17 has better visibility near the equator, where you live effects where you can see it.
Absolutely, and that's affecting our placement here. Like if we're working with everybody, this list would be absolutely hectic. But we're biased, and don't argue with us. I'm just kidding. You can argue with us all you want. So M17.
A.
Which picture is it here?
It's really good, but not.
It's this guy, right?
Dr. Danielle's so upset. Which one?
It's this guy, right? These pictures,
no,
they're so small on this screen. I have like a 4K monitor in front of me.
Up. It's the second one in the second row.
Okay, cool. A tier. There we go. Fitting. Yeah. You really do start to see like the swan structure a little bit more, I guess, better whenever you see it through an optical telescope. A lot of these I think are Hubble images, so some of the nebulae just look like nebulae, so it's kind of hard to discern. Yeah, whatever. You could insult me in the chat if you want. That's fine. I'm all right with that. I'm
You
gonna
can call
quickly.
Jacob ugly.
That's really mean. I'm gonna resize this window real quick because we're moving and the screen is moving too. So there we
Okay.
go. Cool. On to the next one.
After you do it, let's do that nebula that you were just clicking on. That one's the Omega Nebula.
What? The Omega's a swan.
No, sorry, this is different. What is this called? It's M8. Isn't that also
M8?
called Omega?
What? It's a trifid. Isn't it? This one up here? Is this what you're looking at?
Wait. Give me 1 second. Let me look up what this one's called.
Yeah. She's got all the numbers. She's got all the stuff.
Oh, I'm so silly.
Are you talking about this one or this
that
one?
one's Lagoon. So down. That one's Lagoon. Yeah,
Okay.
that one.
Okay. So do you want to rank the Lagoon?
Yes.
Okay. Whenever you say like that one right there, I don't know where you're talking about. I don't know what.
Because the last one you clicked this one, and you're like, is this one Swan? So that's why.
Oh, they're really close together. That's what always confuses me too. Is they're pretty much near similar parts of the sky. But if I remember correctly, Lagoon it's a little bit higher up, right?
It is.
It is. Yeah, it's a little bit higher up, and it looks great. I think it looks great too. And just like the Swan, it's something that you can easily capture. But because again, it's in the southern part of the sky, you do lose it very quickly. And
Percival Lowell's ghost said, back in my day, all these were called Nebula.
yeah, everything was Nebula. It's yeah. I
Okay.
I get the B tier argument, but this Nebula means a lot to me.
Does it?
Yes, I absolutely love this Nebula. It's kind of the it's the object that I guess I've seen first in a multitude of telescopes, right? Working at the on-campus telescope at NAU, this was one of the first objects I had ever like imaged and actually, I guess, pieced together in DS9 myself, like from home.
No, I thought it was Eagle.
No. That was in the list of objects. But like what I'm saying is, it's not the first one that I was able to capture using that telescope, but it was one that I was able to like bring into DS9 and kind of mess around with myself for the first time. Like it wasn't something that I did at the telescope. It wasn't something that I did with anybody's help. It was just like I took it home and I was like, I'm gonna learn how to use this program very, very quickly and get a good idea of how to work with all of this stuff. And I honestly,
He's biased.
I'm biased with this one. I'm absolutely biased with this one. But that's the point. That's the point. I'm not listening to chat. I don't have to listen to chat. Nobody has to listen to chat. I have the mouse, right? And I get to move these objects wherever I want because, again, bias stream. Again, I'll hear arguments, but that nebula means a lot to me. That's all I gotta say, right? Are we judging based off of the image? Lowell Zutori took an M30 during the Messier marathon. No. This is all just like what we imagine everything to be.
M30 automatic F. You know what? I'll find out which one M30 is, and I'll just put that one in F. Just because Dr. Danielle says so.
Cancel the sun. Cancel the sun and the moon. Just get rid of them both. They suck.
No. Lagoon. B.
Lagoon B. I think Lagoon's an A. It's higher up than the Swan in the sky. It means a lot to me, and I think for that point, it should just be an A, right?
My computer's gonna die.
Your computer's gonna then plug it in. Well, you didn't bring your charger?
Oh, I didn't think we were gonna take this.
What? Okay, we're gonna speed through as much as this is possible. I guess Hannah, you could always come into this room.
Yeah, no, I can switch computers real quick because I'm on Ring Central, so I can just switch computers.
It won't glitch anything up, right? Because I can hide the cameras temporarily.
No, here, I'll try it in just a second here. Let me find out which one is
Technical difficulties. How are you doing tonight, chat?
Because I have all the pictures.
What'd you guys eat for dinner? How's it going? How's the weather where you live? Unless everyone is tuning in from Flagstaff.
We're doing this now.
Doing what? Yeah, I mean, if your computer's gonna die, we're gonna be halfway through a debate, and then it's just gonna go away.
Okay.
A grilled cheese for that's.
No, memento for the technical difficulties.
Grilled cheese, a grilled cheese. Good. Windy today, clear sky. Now, I wish that was the case here. we're getting snow. That's why we're not observing tonight, which sucks.
Give me
But
1 second.
what can you do?
Shut this off real quick.
Hamburgers for dinner. Oh, what up? Aman Preet from U of A. How's it going? Has anyone seen Venus, my cow? Oh, I think Venus the cow was left on Mars. How did that story go? There was a story that we did during lockdown, and it was like we had like little groups that we did while Lowell was shut down, and we all worked on like projects. And my group worked on like a story where it was like Percival. It was like Uncle Percy's Adventures in Space or something, if I remember correctly. I don't know the exact title. It's already been like a year now. So Clyde left him on Venus. Yeah, I think so. I think so. So let's see, another news. No, I already said that. Chicken and edamame stir fry. That sounds great. Oh my gosh, I would die for one of those right now. That sounds really good. Oh my. Oh, that was. Sorry, chats. Your ears are now just dead.
Can you see me?
Yep, and I have to turn down your audio very far because that hurt me.
Hey, wait 1 second. It's gonna get dark in here. I can like barely hear you. We're gonna have to figure this out real quick.
I can just scream. Alright, so it sounds like a kitchen from Hannah's perspective right now. Okay. Alright, so that was comical. That was comically loud. It was the whole loud equals funny rhetoric, but put into play. I got leftovers. Oh, that sounds really good. I was going to go to the store this morning before my classes, like literally at like 7 a.m. But I didn't. I slept through like 4 of my alarms and ended up waking up at like 8 so that I can get ready. And I have like beans. I have beans and like... That's it.
Okay, the only thing is I can barely hear you with this one.
Yes, and another thing is your audio sounds like someone is dying. Hold on real quick.
What's up with this? Why can't I hear you?
I'll turn it down from my perspective. Hold on, chat. I'm going to mute my mic. Change your audio output device.
To what?
To the whatever driver your computer is using. Wait, is it really not muted? Oh my gosh.
Can you hear me?
Oh, whatever. This is technical difficulties, really. Everyone gets to witness this firsthand because that's how a Twitch stream works, right?
Can you not hear me, Jacob?
I can hear you fine. I can hear you fine. I have a mute button here, and it's not working at all, so I don't know.
So wait, what's the issue?
I don't know. The issue should be on your end because you were just saying that you were having problems with it. Yeah, I don't know. Everyone's ears are blown out though, which is fine. That's fine. It's fine. When we're working in a studio.
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, everything's fine. Okay. Everything's good. Okay, cool. So yeah, wake up everybody.
Good morning.
As your daily dose of loudness. So yeah.
Sorry. I didn't think that. So before the stream, I had to download all the Messier objects on my computer and upload them. It took an hour, and I didn't think it was going to take that long. So I didn't bring my charger, and now my computer's dead.
Incredible. All right, so yeah, this stream is already panning out to be strange, but that's kind of how it's going to go tonight because snow in March already is strange. Whatever. Cool, awesome. So yeah, I'm glad everybody had their audio coffee. We'll call it their audio coffee. Wake up! Welcome to the stream again. Hi, how's it going?
Did you sneak Lagoon into A while we?
I mean it's staying there. It's not moving.
Oh my god. Gosh, I don't know about that.
And the audio through your computer is really crunchy. It's very, very crunchy. Yeah, it's loud. And so I had to turn down your desktop audio from like -5 decibels to like -20.
How's this?
It's fine. It's good.
I just changed the mic.
It's whatever. People are here to view and watch, and if they stay, that's all that matters in the end. So Hi, everybody. Okay, on to the next object. What do you think?
Let's do the Black Eye Galaxy.
Black Eye Galaxy M64, right? That's going to be this guy here.
Yeah.
Cool. M64, really neat galaxy. It is something that I guess like it's a little more underground than other objects, right? It's considerably more underground because it is a little bit more difficult to view. If I remember, M64 is like 40 million light years away. It's far. It's far enough that it doesn't really warrant like I don't know how to word it. It doesn't warrant looking at it through a smaller telescope because as much as you try, you're not really going to be able to discern it amongst your background darkness on occasion. But if you have a good enough telescope and a good enough sky, it's not exactly a hard thing to see. And it is really neat. It has, you know, a discernible feature to it. It looks like somebody took a punch, right? It has that special name. It's much different than any of your other galaxies, in my opinion, because it has that structure to it. But because of its like low visibility, because it's something that is often skipped over, and also because it's another galaxy in a giant list of galaxies amongst other objects, I don't see this being anything more than like than a B.
You think it's a B, Black Eye?
I think it's a B. I genuinely think that it's a B. What are your thoughts?
I really like Black Eye. Like, if it were up to me, I would put Black Eye in S tier.
Really though? Like, there's other galaxies that I think are even more conceptually interesting.
Like Whirlpool?
Yeah, I would say like Whirlpool, like, gosh, I could name probably quite a few in this list, to be honest with you, but...
Really? I love Black Eye.
Like, I even think M33 can be a better view, even though that thing has, like, ridiculously low surface brightness. You can look at it and you can see, like, the little sparkly bits in it, and it looks like... Yeah, the pinwheel, like, it looks like a galaxy, and you can see it very easily, even though you may need a little bit of, like, averted vision use or just staring at it for a long enough amount of time. But the Black Eye is, like, it's harder to see, you know? It's not ultimately, like... Yeah, exactly. It's great with big telescopes, or long exposure, but otherwise, yeah, it's kind of it's just there. So I agree. B for Black Eye.
I guess it took a little bit of talking into, but I understand. But I also I don't know, like you with Lagoon. I have a special place in my heart for Black Eye. I really like it.
I mean, to be completely honest with you, I do too. Like that's what's saving me from arguing for a lower tier, but I don't know.
Okay, fine. Okay, but if we're gonna do that, then can we just put Whirlpool already in S tier?
Yeah, that's fine. I think I agree with that. It's an object you can see with many different types of telescopes. It's two galaxies colliding, which that's cool. And it has an elliptical in it, so easy.
Just to make me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, easy decision. Easy decision there. That's totally fine.
Okay.
Neat.
I have another one. There's the second row. It's like a whole bunch of different colors. It's a Sagittarius star cloud. Do you see it?
What is that?
The second row, it's the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, this one here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sagittarius star cloud. I don't know what its number is.
The Sagittarius star cloud, if I remember correctly, it was like 23, 20 something.
Let me look it up.
It was in the 20s. I remember. This is something that during the summer we put the telescope on if we wanted to just like show the guests a lot of stars. Like if you wanted to see just a lot of stars, 24.
24, yeah.
If you wanted to just see like a ton of stars all in one view, that was kind of your go-to. Like you would definitely point it towards the Sagittarius star cloud, but there wasn't anything like really mind-blowing about it. Like there wasn't anything
you need
that
a filter to see the nebulosity.
Yeah, exactly. Like
the stars, like in honesty, the stars just look like background stars. It doesn't look like anything.
I think though that's kind of what like draws people to try to look at it or see it in the first place is just like it is a lot of stars and it just looks like background stars. But if you focus long enough, you can see kind of all of that pasted on the sky. And
I think you're talking it up, but Dr. Daniel's right. It belongs in D.
No, I fully agree with that. I actually think it should be a D tier, but I'm trying to save it from F, right?
Oh.
Because
no, it definitely is not F. It's not F, but it's a D.
Okay, then everybody agrees there. Even Chad agrees there. That's good. Because yeah, it's nothing special for view, but like, it's much better than something like M103, which you look at and you're like, this is an object. Oh, if you look at the Sagittarius star cloud, you could at least, talk it up slightly and be like, yeah, this is just a lot of stars, kind of in the zone of avoidance around that area. Yeah.
Okay. If you go all the way down to the last row, there's the Owl Nebula.
This guy here, huh?
Yeah.
Owl Nebula's fun. It's fun.
Owl Nebula's fine. It's cute. She's cute. I think maybe like a C.
I agree. No harm in C. I don't think we need to really dispute that or really anything in general.
I like her. Okay.
That's totally fine.
We have little dumbbell, third row. Not third row. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sixth row. Yeah, that one.
Little dumbbell looks good. I think it's underrated. I think it is.
I think.
Go
just
for it.
based off that picture, I mean, with the telescopes at the Godo, we can't get that good of a picture of it. But like, if we could get a Hubble-like picture of little dumbbell's way better than regular dumbbell.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put it at an A.
I wouldn't put it at an A either. I think it would fit just nicely along with the dumbbell nebula because it's comparable. Like, you would definitely go to that in the case, but again, I think that just even makes the case further for the dumbbell nebula being the other planetary nebula, like the other one you go to if you kind of are your last-ditch effort. But because the little dumbbell's not anything like ridiculously expansive or huge, I think, B's kind of a perfect spot for it. It's very pretty, conceptually cool, and it has a little bit more features than something like the Owl Nebula, so it's a little bit more harmless to go to.
That's true.
So,
and thanks for the follow, AstroKira9. AstroKira.
Yeah, that's. Ooh, we're gonna butcher that no matter what. So, thank you for the follow. I hope you're doing well.
Thank you.
Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. We had some technical difficulties for a few minutes, but we're back to our tier list here. It was hilarious because everything was loud, and anyone who was present during that time, their ears are probably still ringing. So I hope they.
Sorry.
I hope they go to sleep well, or whatever.
Okay. Let's see if I can figure out what some of these other ones are.
Go for it. Yeah, all these Hubble pictures can be a little confusing.
There's Rapid right there in the second row, the fourth one.
That's that's a Trifid.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
I don't see anything else that looks like Trifid. That's Trifid.
I could have sworn that it was this guy here. Hubble pictures.
That's the thing in Orion.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. It is. Okay, forget it. Trifid. Harmless. Pretty, if you have the right telescope. I don't think it's anything. Yeah. Half reflection, half emission, solid A to B. I think B is where it kind of fits perfectly because compared to the other A objects, the Swan and the Lagoon, it's not comparable by any
even
means.
With the Malin cam, this one's a little bit of a trickier one to get to. You have to know really how to use the Malin cam and to get a good one compared to Lagoon.
Or you could also just explode the view and you'll see it. But you won't see like all of the nebulae if you do that, but all the nebula. So I think a solid B tier is fine. I think B's cool. I wish we could zoom in on that a little bit more. But I don't know. It's a good enough view. It's a good enough view to rank. So that's fine.
Okay. Trying to figure out what these other ones are.
What are you thinking next?
That one in Orion, that's M43.
M43 right here.
Yeah, that one. I hate that one.
I don't like it either. I think
I hate it.
it's
I hate it. I don't know why. I hate it.
it's not great. Like it looks really pretty
Yeah,
if you're
it's a
able to
C.
get
It's
a
a C.
good enough picture of it. See, I wouldn't even think it's a C. I think
Really?
I
Is it
think
D?
there comes a
Is it a
time
D?
there comes a time where we have to put a nebula low
It
because
does.
it just simply doesn't look cool. It doesn't look great. M43, M42 wouldn't look as good. See, that's true, but also like not true in the same in the same respect because like M42, you know, it's kind of its own beast, right?
Well, M42 has the trapezium in it.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
like
that's why you can see M42s also because of trapezium.
M43 is just always overpowered. That's the thing. Is it's always outshone, it's always overpowered. It's, you know, it's the solid fourth place in the foot race, right? It's not any special than any other nebula. And that's why I think like on its own, it doesn't stand to be anything higher than a D, but you know, as a collective, sure, maybe it would be considerably higher if you were to group it with the Orion Nebula. But beyond that, I think it's a D.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. See, they interact with each other. It helps. It kind of like highlights the location, but on its own, standalone. It's like if you're eating a food, right? If you're eating a food that goes, you know, you put a sauce on it, or you give it a side, and it's just delicious, and it's something that you can't pass up whenever you're at the restaurant. Like, you can make the argument then that it adds to the flavor, it adds to the appeal. But if you were to take either of those two pieces and you know, like, separate it from that meal, you're probably not going to enjoy it as much because it's on its own. And for that, yeah, I'm gonna throw it in D. I think that it really just needs to be in D.
There's Bodes right there, and the last, where is it?
This one here, right?
No.
No?
Where'd it go? I was just looking at it.
The view of Bodes is always strange.
Oh, it's because we just moved that one. So it's at the very, very end of the... Put your cursor to the right, all the way to the right in that row.
Boop. Oh, okay.
That's
So yeah, these two are kind of oriented similarly. That's what was confusing me. Again, Hubble Space Telescope images. I'm not memorizing all of the Messier catalog because I have plenty more to memorize in my life.
There's so many things.
But without Bode's Galaxy, M81, you wouldn't have M82, right? The reason why M82 looks so good and looks so crazy is because of M81. But standalone, it's not really any more special. It's not super pretty, and it's much more diffuse than something like M82. It almost looks like an elliptical galaxy through any telescope. The Dyer, for example, just the other night I pointed it towards M81, and even with, you know, a small moon, it was just a crescent moon, wasn't really outshining anything in the sky. It didn't surprise me. Like it didn't blow me away. It never does. It's something that, like, you know, if you see M82, you have to see M81 because you have to explain the dynamic, and you have to, I mean, see it anyways because it's right next door. Like, it's another galaxy. It's another object that you can add to an itinerary. It's fine. But I don't think the view is any more comparable to anything, you know, anything else that is just another galaxy in the Messier catalog. I think that M81, even though I do love it, I think that's simply because it's just like visually not as appealing as M82. Should be a D, but because of its just, I guess, because of what it does to M82, because unlike the Orion Nebula with M43, you know, how they kind of like play together and play up the view, M82's existence is required by M81, M81's existence is required for M82 to be as beautiful as an object as it is. So, I think because of that, it should be a C. What do you think?
It's definitely not as good as Black Eye. And it's definitely not as good as a Spindle.
Absolutely.
I would say it is equal to like Sombrero. So yeah, see.
Yeah, definitely. Like
Alright.
it's a good object to go to if you get the chance, but you know, it's not great. And I would have put it lower if it weren't for how great of an effect it has on M82, which is in the S tier. Like that's up there because that's a good galaxy. It looks sick. But besides that, it's not. I don't know. I don't care for it. I'll go to it just because like I'm almost obligated to. You know, it's there, right? It's
Yeah.
inoffensive. It's just present.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out which ones are left.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we're gonna get to a lot of clusters and stuff, and spoiler alert: a lot of the clusters are just gonna be things we can group together. Unless they have like some crazy story that we can bring up about them, such as like M13. I really don't think that any of the globular and open star clusters can be anything higher than something with a cool story. So I guess we're just getting through the objects that are a little bit more important right now, getting those Messier numbers down.
We have a lot of objects to go, and it is getting a little bit late. Maybe we can do a part 2. We could do a few more, but we could like.
Let's get through what we can. Let's see what we can get through what we can. Yeah, this is all.
Yeah,
this
let's not
is.
feel like we have to race through it, or we have to get them all tonight. There's 110 of them.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of objects, and honestly, I knew it was going to take a lot longer than I thought it would because there's a lot to debate, and myself and Hannah are separate entities, so we have our differing opinions, and this it requires debate, and of course, chats, you have your own opinions too. Doesn't mean I'm going to take him into account again. I'm so sorry, but unless you guys like make some crazy points, like again, you have a friend that lives in one of these galaxies or whatever, then I really do think that at the end of the day, like
a friend that lives in one of these galaxies.
Yeah, that's called a joke. That's called a joke.
No, I didn't get it.
Yeah, Percival Lowell's ghost. Get what I'm saying here. Like I'm thinking to myself, like, we'll be able to skim over some of these objects and whatnot. But I was also doubting myself, and I was like, it's going to take much longer than that. So I thought it was not going to. Yeah, exactly. It's the way the human brain works, and describing that is hard. So unless you want to describe my thought process better than me, then just take it with a grain of salt.
Okay.
Just yeah.
Thanks for the follow, Super Tank 2000.
All right. What do you want to do next?
Okay, I'm trying to figure out which one is Andromeda, and I think I know which one it is. And it's so sad. I think it's the third row. I think it's the first one. I can't tell though. I think the image got cut out.
Are you sure?
I'm looking at all of them right now, and I'm really trying. I'm pretty sure. Oh, wait, maybe it's the second row, the last one.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, because you can see. I think that's M110. Maybe this is one of the Andromeda peripheral galaxies, because it looks like what is it?
Yes. Oh my god, thank you, Jacob. That's exactly what that is. Okay,
yes.
So yeah, second row, last
5
one.
head. Okay. Andromeda's a staple of the sky, right?
Yeah, you can see with your eyes. You can see with your naked eyes.
Yeah, furthest thing you can see with your naked eye too. So that's sick. That's kind of cool in its own respect. But looking at it with a telescope, not really. Yeah, it's not as great as it could be. Because it is a staple of the sky. I feel like it's also overrated because everyone wants to see it. It's
not really that pretty. You really can't see a lot of the, and even through the mountain cam, for example, it's so big, you can't see a lot.
Exactly, and I think we need to have our hot take here because we've been playing it safe with a lot of these selections.
We've really been treading lightly here.
But I'm going to say the Andromeda Galaxy is a solid D. I want to say it's a solid D because, like, even with all of the context in the world,
Jacob's about to make so much.
I don't care. Exactly. M33 is your better, closer galaxy to us because at least you can see stuff through a telescope, right? Andromeda is just haunt me all you want. Haunt me all you want, Percival Lowell's ghost.
Percival Lowell's
It's a terrible choice to put it anything higher than a D because you can't see it with the telescope. You can't really take a picture of it and be impressed with the picture. It's always.
Agno says M33 is a better view, and that's the thing is I agree. So.
See, even with historical
But look, Dr.
significance.
Danielle says, but consider the historical significance of the redshift.
Then maybe a C. Because yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. You have the red shift, blue shift, all of that wonderful just Doppler effect in space that was all put together with just work around the world, obviously, but some of it was done here at the Clark. So yeah, historical significance. But again,
okay,
overrated,
if it really
disappointing.
If it wasn't for that, I'd say put it in the D. But
I think a C is fair because of the historical significance, but it does not, and I mean absolutely does not compare to.
It really okay. Honestly, everyone, don't think about your biases. Think about Andromeda. It sucks.
True. Exactly. It just sucks. It's a cool galaxy in concept because it's coming at us. It's going to collide with us. All that cool stuff does not make up for how bad it looks through everything, through literally everything. Even a pair of binoculars is too much for it. So
Dr. Danielle says the Slifer would say yes. Next stream, I'm gonna come dress up as Bam Slifer, Percival, and I'm just gonna give my opinion as if I was them.
All right, solid C. We need to, yeah. We're pretty much walking in circles there, saying that it's just terrible. So C.
I just talked to Besto.
Yeah. Yeah. Besto's gonna. I'll take every ghost haunting me. I would rather die on my hill saying that Andromeda sucks.
I'm ready. I want to be haunted.
Then change my opinion because some measly ghost is telling me to. Yeah.
I'm like gonna hear a knock on the window.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? Knock on my window or possess me? It's not gonna change my mind. Okay, cool.
Wait, do you want to do something really bad?
What?
So if we just rated M31 as C, let's rate M32 as C. the satellite for Andromeda.
But you can at least see him. Actually, it's a small elliptical. It's a tiny elliptical. You can't really see much of it. I agree.
Well, if you think about it, though, it's like cool because it's like a tiny elliptical. When do you see like tiny ellipticals like that? For one, two, he's just kind of hanging on for the ride.
I mean, you could if you just had a telescope and like pointed it at any of the small ellipticals that orbit around our galaxy. But I mean,
put in the B.
No, it's not a B. It's not a B.
All ellipticals equals F. I agree. I just want to put it in the B just for the gag, but I agree. M32 should be an F.
I don't think it's even a gag. I think it should be an F too. Because, like, even though the Andromeda sucks, it still overshadows everything about M32's existence. Exactly. It's literally just a photobombing blob. It is nothing more than that.
I should be in B.
Yes.
Here, I'm like B, F, B.
So F, right? Perfect positioning.
Fine, but I wish we would have put them.
We gotta have hot takes. We gotta have hot takes here, or else like this is literally not our opinion, and we're just like playing it super safe. Hi Cameron, you want to focus? What's up?
Standing in front of M31. Okay, if you think about it, if you're saying M32 is a photobombing blob, actually M31's a photobombing blob trying to take all the light away from M32. Put it in B.
It's not going in B. M32 is definitely not going into B for any gag, for any reason. It's just bad.
B.
It's
You're never gonna hear me talk nice about an elliptical again. Put it in C.
Yeah, it's just all bad. It's all bad. Speaking of other objects near it, M110's got to be in here, right? And that's the other.
Wait. Did you put it somewhere?
No. M110's also in the list, and I'm not sure exactly which picture it is, but that's also another one of those peripherals of Andromeda, right?
Stop! I literally just heard something out the window.
Oh wow! It's like we're right next to a forest.
I'm gonna cry. Okay. Did you put M32 somewhere?
M32 is an F. If that's it, and I'm not just mistaking it for M110, because they're both ellipticals near Andromeda, and like that view is just, it doesn't get any better. You want to see it through a telescope, you're not going to see the Andromeda Galaxy, and you'll barely see the elliptical. But I think M110, at least because it is separated just so slightly from the galaxy, should be a D, because, you know, it's not necessarily overpowered, but it's still just an elliptical.
Oh
Right.
my god, I have no idea which one that is.
I think, let me take a look through our little
Let me look it up. No. Give me 1 second.
our little collection here. Yeah, there's quite a few ellipticals, right? Anything with numbers are F. Bad names, bad score. True. That is a king take, Jacob. That is a king take. Anything without a name.
Jacob.
Anything with numbers, automatic F. Right?
M110.
Just kidding.
Oh, it looks like if I think no. I was gonna say the first row. That elliptical looking thing there.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. This one here.
Is that it?
I believe so. That looks like it because M110, if I remember correctly, is a much more elongated.
Oh, that is it.
That is it?
I'm seeing the picture. Okay, yeah.
Like I'm saying, it's separated more. You can see more of it. It has more structure. It's
F?
elongated. It's not an F. I think it's a D.
D?
Yeah, because it's not comparable to M32.
All right.
Like
I can do that.
it's still a league above it, but it's not a league like far in front of it. You know, it's not you know 400 light years in distance ahead of anything. It's just like barely edging out M32. Like it's another elliptical, but it's better. It's better.
Okay. Now let's see what these other ones are.
I absolutely did. M45 a B, M31 a D, M40. Nah.
Okay. I think.
If you want to talk overrated, Sombrero Galaxy, as we were saying in the beginning, Pleiades.
Overrated, so overrated.
See, I was saying that though. I was saying the Pleiades is overrated, but like it has more of a historical significance, right? And it's much more than just like what it means for science, but it's like also it's cultural. It blends in more different ways than just like, oh, these are baby stars. Oh, this is nebulosity. It's like you got different places around the world who've seen this through their entire lifespans, and they have different stories. And with that respect, it's just better.
I'm trying to figure out which one's triangulum. Oh, I see it. It's second row, almost the last one.
This one here, yeah.
Yeah, that's triangulum.
It's M33, right?
Yeah.
M33. I think it's good. I think it's decent. It's better than the Andromeda for viewing, but I don't think it should be a B tier. And why it shouldn't be a B tier is
Really?
low surface brightness. Like, sure, Andromeda's brighter. You can see it with your naked eye. But M33,
Maybe.
I don't think so though. Like, I think it should be a C. I think it should just be a straight C and be conceptually better than Andromeda, but still in that tier. It's really hard to see visually. Even with like a 10-minute exposure on the Malin cam, and this is absolutely no joke, I've done a 10-minute exposure of this galaxy, it still looks very, very dim. Like there are little pieces of the structure to it that like will just never come through. And at that point you'll just be washing out the rest of the view. And I mean, God, even seeing it with a telescope here, it's low surface brightness. You might catch the spiral arms on a good night if you use your averted vision, but besides that, you're not getting much out of it. So I'm gonna say it's a C. I don't think we could dispute that it's anything higher because it's not as special as anything in the B tier, but it's also not more. I guess it's not worse than anything in the C tier either. Like it's the perfect medium. It's conceptually better than the Andromeda again, but it's not perfect.
It's not perfect. Okay, fine. Fine. I'm not fighting. Try not to fight. But I do have strong opinions.
We're starting to get to the objects that start to look the same here.
I know, that's why I'm trying to, right now I have like a Google Doc open because my computer's dead, so I'm trying to go through all the ones that we've already looked at because they all look the same. Like, what is that? Ah. Okay. There's a little nebula. What's that one? That's like a.
Which one are you talking about?
The second to last row. That fourth one. What is that?
This one here.
Yeah.
God, I actually forget. I know that's in the summertime sky, though, if I remember correctly.
I'm trying to see.
Hey, chat, anyone know? You want to type it?
Does anyone know?
Press enter as fast as you can.
Because my computer died.
Oh, it's so dope. Yeah.
It's not M16.
See,
We've done that.
What I'm saying with M33, though, is that it definitely is underappreciated. That's why I don't think it should be lower. Like, it's a lower surface brightness. It's all that good stuff. It's this guy where the cursor is right here. The fourth object in the second to last row. Let's do some surface, some hunting here. Let's get some hunting done.
I know, we're really trying to go through them. No, not that one. We already did it.
Fourth object in the second to last row.
What is it?
I forget what that is.
I have like the Messier thing pulled
See,
up.
that's the logic I would go by, but depending on if I remember what object this is in particular, I remember it being at least somewhat decent. IGC 2071. It's M78. That is M78. Yes.
Oh.
This one sucks. Actually, this one sucks. This one tricked me. I believe it's up during the summer, and if I remember correctly, I tried putting the telescope there one day because I thought it would be cool, and it. M78. And it's...
Jacob says automatic F since no one knows.
I don't think...
It is M78. How'd you figure that out? This one say it?
Super sleuthing. Super sleuthing.
Yeah, that is M78. But it kind of looks cool.
No, this one's an Orion. This one's an Orion. This one is yes.
Does that change your opinion?
This is where I was tricked.
Orion?
No. In fact, that makes my opinion on it even worse. Because if you have other objects in Orion that are better, i.e. the Orion Nebula, i.e. even M43, you're not going to look for M78. You're not going to try to see it. It's a reflection nebula in the first place, so like, good luck trying to catch it through a telescope. And even better luck if you do not know how to use a Malin cam or really any camera in general. Yeah, I honestly, I think M78's an F. I think it's a straight up F. And we have to have a nebula.
Put it a D. It's a...
But M43 is better.
Do you think that's comparable to M103?
Yes, because you're not going to see it for the most part, ever. At all. Like, it'll be a dim little blob, if anything. I mean, you might see some nebulosity on a fantastic night, but that requires it to be a fantastic night. You know, M43, even though it's, you know, in the D position, you can still see it on a decent enough night, on, you know, when the clouds aren't overpowering to the point where you can barely even see the Orion Nebula in the first place. So M78, I wholeheartedly believe belongs in F.
No.
It's just facts. I'm sorry.
There's some open clusters. No, I think it's D. That's a cool nebula.
To the picture, a telescope in space took the picture where we don't have air, so it's a little bit easier to see things like that. Do you want to just put it in D? We can meet in the middle if you want, because I'm fine with it as long as it's in the bottom two rows, because it doesn't deserve to be higher.
Okay, what's the Messier number for Pleiades?
For the we already did the Pleiades.
Yeah, I know.
45,
So...
I believe. 45.
Okay. And then Lagoon.
Lagoon Nebula. I just always remember it by its name because it's a little bit more important.
Is it M16?
Lagoon Nebula.
I think so.
M8 Lagoon.
Oh, M8, you're right.
Lex, thank you for the follow. How's it going? How you doing? What's up? You're just cataloging what we've got then.
Yeah, the list, I'm narrowing it down. I'm trying to, again, still figure out which one is which, because we're really, getting into that territory where they all look the same. Yeah,
it's just starting to become objects that, like, they're not going to be anything special unless it's something like M15.
What's that one? What's that?
Great.
There's the three galaxies in the top row, they're really nice. That first one, the third one, and then
I know what you're talking about. I
the
think.
sixth one.
Gosh, great question, actually. Great question. I vaguely remember the third one, and I do know that it does look nice. It does look great.
Did we do M101?
Oh, Paulette, what's up? How's it going? What's happening?
Hi,
Hello
Lex,
from
and
Michigan.
hi, Paulette.
We're out here in Arizona, just chilling, enjoying the mid-March
Oh, that's the first
snow.
one. The first one's M101. It's the Pinwheel Galaxy.
I'm gonna have to go overrated. I'm gonna have to say overrated because people talk about it a lot.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Let me think.
Here, while you think, I'm gonna resize the window here so that we get a little bit more working space.
Pinwheel's better than Sombrero. That's a good one.
You know what? That's true.
And when you see it through the telescope, like with the pictures, there's so many stars and pretty and everything. So, are we streaming on YouTube too?
Yeah, I think the multi-stream's still up. But that's fine. We'll bring more people to Twitch here. We'll bring more people to Twitch. If multi-stream's on for the night, that's totally fine. This is, again, for anybody just joining us, a casual talk on us, by opinion, ranking the Messier objects. So feel free to argue. Doesn't mean that we're going to take it into consideration, but I mean, it's a lovely chat anyways. This is all casual. This is all for fun. There is nothing scholarly here going on. We are looking at these objects. We are staring at them, and we're saying they're either terrible or they're great. It really is.
M101. I like that one. That's a good one. We gotta, let me look at those other ones. Let's see these other galaxies. No.
I think M101's a safe B.
I really like it.
I think it's a safe B.
You hate spirals. What's up with you?
No. See, I don't hate spirals. There's just better spirals, right?
Like what?
Like, I mean, most of them are going to be NGC objects or things within, like, the Virgo supercluster, but... Oh, also because we are restreaming on YouTube, we're not seeing any of those chats. This is a Twitch stream.
Oh yeah, we're not seeing any.
So twitch.tv/Lowell Observatory, all one word. You can sign up, make an account, chat with us. Just don't be weird, and we'll talk with you all the time. It's all a casual little conversation. We could talk about anything. We were talking about what people ate for dinner earlier, and that was fun. But that was mostly during our technical difficulty stage where we destroyed people's ears. So if you're sticking around on YouTube and you stuck through that, you deserve a round of applause, and you should also come visit
on
us here.
On YouTube, the name of our stream is Messier Marathon 2021 International Star.
Well, I don't have any ability to edit that, but I guess this is kind of an add-on to it, because we're going back after the Messier Marathon where we were able to see all these objects and kind of work around what we saw. We have the Hubble pictures here again, which, I don't know, I mean, they're Hubble pictures. They're going to be considerably better than anything we can get here, because that's a telescope in space. It's pretty much the best camera in the world, actually, outside of the world. But our pictures were amazing. Like, our pictures came through really, really nicely, and we were able to get every single object.
Even when it was, like, really cloudy and stuff, I was, like,
beautiful.
impressed with some of the pictures that we got.
They were stunning. They were absolutely stunning. And, gosh, I mean, that was a fun night, too. I mean, even being out to, like, 2, 3 a.m. for us, because we did the little Twitch block, it was a lot of fun still. It was very relaxing to just kind of sit there and go through the objects and just, I guess, have a similarly casual conversation about what we were looking at.
That was good. I had a really good time doing the Messier Marathon.
Absolutely.
It was really fun. I was super excited. It was like midnight and I had so much energy. I'm like, oh, let's look at space. Like, talk about it. I had such a good time.
Exactly. See, it was considerably smoother than I would have thought it would have been, because you're looking for all of the objects all in one night, so you feel like everybody would just be losing their minds. And I'm sure, like, the telescope operators, it was a little whatever, especially in the first half of the night when they were dodging through clouds. I remember I was working a shift that night on the deck, and every time a new object would be found, everyone was like, yes, we got it. And yeah Yeah, to go haunt the Slifer building. Do what you need to do there.
Ball and chain. Nice. Okay. See ya. Thanks for joining us.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So what have we done with M101? We still haven't decided.
We haven't decided. That's kind of. I guess we got to break the tie here. I agree. I agree with you, Astro. I think it should be.
A.
You know what? Another
A.
hot take then. We'll put it in A. Because I'm not against it. I think it's a great spiral galaxy. It's
It's
good
a
to
really
look at.
good one.
And when it's up in the sky, like, I mean, sure, it can be kind of tricky because this one's a little bit more northbound, right? If I remember correctly, it's a little bit more the north part of the sky.
Yes, it is.
So you have to catch it during certain times of the year. But like, if you can catch it, it's really worth it. Super worth it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one we're gonna do is going to be one of the Leo triplets, but I'm trying to figure out
M66, right?
There's M65 and M66, but I don't know which ones are which.
If I remember correctly, I think it's
Okay,
this
so
one, right?
the third to bottom one,
Third-
row. So
What?
the second one,
Oh, this one here.
that is M65.
I think the two Messier objects that are in the Leo triplet should be B tier. I think they should be B tier because
Okay.
hear me out
So
here.
M65 and M66. Let me find that one.
Yeah, they're decent galaxies. They're great galaxies, and you can see them all in one view if you have a good enough telescope.
Yeah,
but that
yeah,
requires you to have a telescope where you can not only make out the detail, but also you're able to see them all in one field, or else they're just kind of individual spiral galaxies. But they're all beautiful in their own respect. Like, they all look great. They look fine, and yeah, I mean, I think the two Messier galaxies in that triplet should totally just be in B, right?
So put that one in B. And I think I think the second to last row, the second to last one, I think that might be M66.
Let me
I don't know.
Let me make sure of that real quick. Let me make sure of that real quick. If anyone in chat can do it faster than me or faster than us, go for it because we've been just struggling with these
We've been
objects.
at
Or
this
not
for a little
struggling,
bit.
but like we've been at this for a while. M66 is actually this object here.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. That is.
So M66 also in B. They're good objects. They're good. Leo triplets just rising over the horizon too right now at like decent, good times for at least Arizona, California, local areas. Daylight savings is so strange. And Arizona is, I think, along with Hawaii, the only two states that do not observe daylight savings. So our time doesn't change. We don't lose or gain sleep, so I don't have to worry.
Vibe.
We don't have to worry. Yeah, we just hang out, and it's great. It's smooth. So yeah, great placement. Great placement. That's totally fine.
Ooh, okay.
What do you
I
feel?
have another one.
Okay.
You see the binary star? M40?
Yes.
F.
F.
I hate binary stars.
Yeah. Binary stars are fun to look at sometimes.
They're fun, like what's it?
Alberio.
But that's like the only one.
Or is it a
Like,
Iota Cancri too is also really
oh
good.
yeah, there's Alcor Mizar.
But like, yeah, they're just
Because
two.
that's a
It's just
visual
two
one
blue
though, like
stars.
that you can see with your eyes when you. But like that one sucks.
I agree.
M40 sucks.
I agree. That's fine. That's a totally fine placement.
I
That's
don't even know where this one is. Oh, don't tell me that's Alcor Mizar.
I honestly don't even care what it is. I still truly believe it's an F. Even Alcor and Mizar, which, again, okay enough double star to see. Like, it's just a double star. You could talk about it. You could talk about the science behind those binary star systems and how common they are, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You could go on forever. But that requires you to have an interest, or whoever you're talking to have an interest, or, I guess, enough of a patience to really take in that information about how cool double stars can be. But besides that, it's just two stars, right? And there's plenty of those in the sky. So I think, yeah, F is fine. F is fine.
Yeah, that's not M40. Okay, I was like, I stopped for a second. I'm like, wait, is that Alcor Mizar? No,
Yes.
it's not.
Oh,
And that's
sorry.
the thing. It's like that. You can't tell. You can't tell. I was confused because you couldn't tell.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with that F. True. Yeah, you can't wait the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years it takes to even see the binary stars in action. And that requires them to actually physically be binary stars. Sometimes you just get visual binaries, and they're close enough that they look like they're a part of a system, but they're not. Which, like, now you're just being tricked. now you're just being baited into, like, thinking something is cooler than it is. Which I guess visual binaries again can still be pretty cool, but in my opinion, I don't care for them. I don't care for binary systems at all. All right, what are you feeling is next? Because I think we're gonna get to a few more objects here, and then maybe we'll do a little part 2. Because we've been live for darn near an hour and a half, actually over an hour and a half, working through this list, and we're barely part ways through.
I know.
It'll be easier the second half though, because we have
to go through this and figure out which is which.
Because there's no tooltips, there's nothing, and these are not the views we see, so it's very confusing to memorize that. I mean, some of them are obvious, and that's kind of what we hit first. Yeah. That's why you see some things in like the S tier, because you just know what they are right off the bat. But you absolutely, unless you just love the Messier catalog, there's no way you can tell me you've memorized all of these. Anybody in chat, there is no way that is true unless you love the Messier catalog, and then at that point, I just idolize you. I would just idolize you, because that is commitment on another level.
Well, so the thing is, when we started this, we downloaded all the pictures, right, and we did everything, and then they uploaded out of order, and so...
That's true. That's true. We had... I think, Hannah, you downloaded all 110 pictures onto your computer, and then uploaded them to the website, and the website was like, all right, we're going to scramble all of these, and now all of the globs and all of the open star clusters are just everywhere. And even then, again...
all of them look the same.
Yes.
But I found one. The third to last row, that nice spiral, that's M74.
This one here?
Yeah.
Okay, so M74, if I remember correctly, it's in the early winter, and it just rises in the east part of the sky in, like, November? Sometime around there?
It's in Pisces. Oh, that's that small one. Okay, here's the thing about M74. So it's tiny, right? But Hubble got this, again, we're not basing it off Hubble, but Hubble got this insane picture of M74. It's like, oh my gosh.
Even beyond that, though, you can still see it really well with just an average size telescope, like, an Amazon telescope.
That's a tiny one, though.
It is tiny, but it has a higher surface brightness than a lot of the other galaxies, which is really surprising, because you would expect, if I remember correctly, it's like 20-some million light years away, something like that. And you would look at like M33, which is currently the last object in C tier, with any telescope, and you could barely see that, and that's right next door. But M74 is much further away, and the light almost collects much better. And it's kind of an inoffensive object to go to, and I think it should be in the B tier as well, along with the Leo triplet pair, I guess, because it's another galaxy in the group. It's one that you can go to and reliably go to, but it's not striking. It's not as visually striking and appealing as, the other galaxies that are in higher tiers.
Okay.
So, yeah.
We can do that.
M74, a strong B.
Okay. Let's see. Where's that one? What's that one? Okay. Third to last row. The third to last one and the third to last
This
row.
one
That one?
here.
That is M77.
Yeah, that's up in the winter too, right? What constellation is that in? M77.
Let me see. Let's look it up. Oh my god, every time I look up Messier objects, it pulls up guns. It is a barge spiral in Cetus.
Okay, so M77. This object has kind of a lowish visual magnitude. It's something that I think I have seen before, but I don't keep going back to it. It's more interesting than other spiral galaxies, but it's not like interesting in the fact that you'd see it with your own two eyes on like through a telescope or even through a picture and go like, wow, this is completely different than anything that I've seen before. Because even then, like, the structure of it, yeah, it's a neat looking galaxy, but it's not
really cool. It is really cool, but it just doesn't do it for me. It doesn't even look like a barred spiral.
Well, no, yeah. I mean,
it's a barred spiral, but it doesn't look like one.
It's just it has like, I don't know.
I mean, it does, but it doesn't.
The hands like go.
It looks very circular.
Yeah.
This one, This one I think can. Oh.
Why is this one tearing us apart here? This.
Well, because it's going to be ranked lower, but I don't want to rank it too low.
I think a C would be fair then. No? What do you think? I think a C would be fair.
No, because look at what we have in C. We have owl, sombrero. No, it's D.
It's D. This is a tough one. Chat, what do you think?
Bodes, that's bodes in C. So no, it's a D.
All right, chat, what do you think? Type it. Type it. Send it. What do you think? D? C? What are you feeling? Because I honestly.
M77.
It's this galaxy right here.
No, below it.
What? No, it's this one.
No.
What? You were lying to me.
No. That one that you're pointing at.
Are we talking about the same object here? M77 is the one up here, where the cursor is.
No.
This one I'm grabbing.
No, that one is something else.
What?
That is.
Wait. Oh shoot.
That one's M61.
You're right.
You were pointing at.
S is just the highest tier possible. S is like, without a doubt, just the best. Like, anything in S tier is like, it's there for a reason. You know, in like, A, you can argue why there's some downsides to looking at it, but in S tier, it's like undisputed, gold standard, perfect view. If you, it's basically the extra credit. It's the 102% in the class. It's that kid who just like sucked up to the teacher and got that A++, but it was for good reason, right? Like it wasn't this kid just like going around the class and just like doing extra things so that they can get that extra credit. It was like this kid was just outstanding with everything, right? Those are those objects. I mean, M82, just that's personally one of the coolest things in the sky, and I mean that was something that both me and Hannah could both agree on. And you have like the Orion Nebula, which when it's up, you just gotta see it. And then I'll just skip to the end here of the list. Whirlpool, two galaxies colliding. How cool is that? Like
that's a really cool one.
Yeah, you just can't.
Okay.
So M77. So I think D, right?
Yeah.
This view just looks strange. It looked similar to this galaxy above it. It's just like purplish.
Yeah.
Yeah, D. Okay.
Yeah. And then that one, let's do M61 while we're there.
Well, see, crab. Our reasoning for this is that the crab is really dim. Sometimes it's not even worth to look at all. When the moon is out, you don't even want to attempt it because you're not going to see it. And the ring, super overrated. You know, if it's up in the sky and you know you have a telescope, like it's something that you just have to hit. But like, it's whatever. Like it's great. It's good, but it's just
really
so
good.
often
it's like
talked
Pleiades
about.
too. You know, Pleiades, ring, crab. They're all really good. They're like amazing, but they're like.
It doesn't have like the it doesn't have the power to back itself up compared to something like
Orion.
Like
when
the
you
Orion
think of
Nebula.
Orion, you're like.
Exactly. It's overrated. It's an object that's always talked about. It's an object that is always seen. But because it looks so good, the Ring Nebula is an object that you have to see because it's inoffensive, because it's fine, because it looks good. Like it looks okay, right?
We put M1 in A because although it looks really nice and it's like the first one and it's like
it's all supernova running.
You can't see it. It's very hard to get. It's a very, very hard one to get. Again, it's overrated. Like it's a I don't know.
Yeah. It's fine. It's cool. I honestly, this list is coming out to be pretty decent. I'm
really happy with some things in here.
Like, I'm not regretting any of the placement, to be completely honest with you. Like, I don't think any of these objects should be in different positions. Chat might have a different opinion, but I don't care. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Voice your opinions as much as you want. We're not silencing anybody, but
I I can't wait to get to some of these open clusters. Okay, I see.
Oh yeah.
We can do an open cluster. We can do this.
Okay, let's throw in an open cluster into this a little bit here. Let's talk about
Third
it.
to last row, and it looks like 4 stars. They're just like.
Oh, this
there's
here?
like 4 of them. Yep, that's M73.
Oh, well, that's terrible.
It's terrible.
They're just small little reddish, orangish stars. Like, sure, it's an open cluster. Sure, they're different colors than the other stars that you would usually associate with open clusters because they're redder. But
It's an asterism of 4 stars in the constellation of Aquarius.
cool. That's an F right there.
That's an F. So sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
If you're an asterism fan, speak up now
Yeah.
because, yeah, a lot of asterisms just are either overrated or just flat out bad. In my opinion, like again, you're gonna meet people who are like, yes, let's look at whatever that thing is because I love it, and maybe it holds a place in their heart like the lagoon holds in mine. But I'm not them. Hannah's not them.
I got another one. What's this? Oh, it's called the Ptolemy Cluster. Okay, it's M7.
M7.
So third to last row, third to last.
So yeah, okay. I figured it was this one here. 'Cause from this image, it looks cool.
That's good. It's better than F.
The image looks neat, and this is actually an object that I'm not necessarily familiar with either.
I'm not either. I feel like it's kind of underrated. It kind of looks.
It looks sick, and I feel like if we were to take a picture of it with the Malin camera, at least one that I remember, because this was, I mean, we got all of these objects in the Messier marathon, but I wasn't there the whole night. I was working a normal shift during the first half, and then at the end of the second half, I had to go home because I had to meet with some people early in the morning and get some work done. So, there was a few objects that I don't remember, and the Stinger of Scorpius. Okay, I do know this object, but not to an extent that really baffles
It's
me.
naked eye. I think it's underrated. I think just for that fact that makes it higher than.
I think maybe a D is a suitable position for it because again it's another open star cluster and it doesn't blow anything away or blow anything out of the water like the Pleiades would. But it's a naked eye object. It looks neat with this picture and because I don't.
Well, what are those other
actively
open
know
clusters?
about
Are they? Let me see if I can figure out. What's that one right there?
See, the thing is, though, is none of these other open star clusters are really impressing me as much as this one is. So actually, maybe I might have to go with Danielle here and say it's a C.
Yeah.
Simply because it's underrated. You know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll play along with that, and I'll say yeah.
Okay.
That's a C.
Well, while you do that, the third row, and then the fifth to last one. That one's M47, and that one also looks kind of good, but not as good as that one. So I would put that one at a D.
So this one here?
Yeah, and that one is an open cluster in Pupus.
Probably a D then, right?
Yeah,
D. Okay.
getting some of these open clusters out of the way.
Yeah. Let's just sweep the open clusters under the rug, right? We'll put them wherever they belong, which is C, D, or F. I don't think there's going to be any other open star clusters that will wow me as much as the Pleiades, because the Pleiades are the Pleiades.
Pleiades
right?
is good.
Pleiades
is where it
it's a
belongs.
suitable position in A, but it doesn't need to be lower. It doesn't need to be higher. Case closed.
What is that beautiful galaxy? M106. That's what that is.
Which one are you talking about? It's the second one, right?
Second one.
Yeah. Okay.
That is such a beautiful one.
M106. Where's
What
that
is this?
located?
Canis Benefici. Oh, the wind is really.
Poop deck. Yeah, I remember someone telling me about that, and it was just like, yeah. I'm a child.
Yes.
I'm a child. I'm a child masquerading in a college student's body, and I heard that and I just started laughing. I was like, that's funny. That sounds funny. People have to admit that some things are humorous, even though they're super immature. I gotta do it. I can't be fake. If I'm fake, then who am I, right? So M106, right?
M106. That's that top, the second galaxy there.
Where does that belong?
That's a really cool one, but I don't think I've ever looked at this one.
I've seen it a handful of times, but only like literally only a handful. Like I'm not over exaggerating or under exaggerating. Yeah.
I'm a little sad because I feel like I don't know a lot about these galaxies, but they look really cool. But because I don't know enough about them, I'm like, I can't speak much on it.
I see. For the handful of times that I have seen it, it's come through decent. It's come through fine.
M106.
I think for that though, I mean, just for like the lack of familiarity, we really can't put it any higher than something like C.
Yeah, I was gonna say C. I think would be good.
Like C sounds totally fine for it because this image looks pretty. I've seen it a few times and I remember it being okay, like decent enough that I went like, wow, I want to save this picture. I want to take it home because I like it. But
that's a good one.
If I haven't gone back to it, and if this isn't something that I've been actively trying to see during any time of the year that it's up, then it shouldn't be higher. So C's its home now, right?
Yeah.
Oh dang! So
right.
We're cutting through these objects pretty nicely. Let's do like what, 3 more? You want to do 3?
I was gonna say let's just do 1 more.
1 more? That's fair enough.
And then, because then it'll be 10:30.
That's fair enough. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, so we've already been live for almost 2 hours. That did not feel like that. Okay.
It didn't.
Yeah, I have to do more work. I have to do more work tonight and tomorrow.
Jacob's busy.
I'm busy, or else I'll probably be on here until like we actually finish the entire list. But this again, it's more casual, a little less planned.
And this is fun. And you know what? For next time, I want to finish this list, but also I was thinking of doing like rating like the moons of the solar system, or even just like the planets.
I mean,
rating the 9.
That's kind of a cool idea. Chat, what do you think? What do you think? Should we someday? I'm not saying the next stream because the next stream will probably have an actually decent sky, so we could do some imaging.
Yeah.
How does everyone feel about like rating the solar system, planets, moons, all that good stuff? I think that'd be neat. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I like it. Pluto.
Oh yeah. Pluto's an undeniable S. We are biased because that's where we work, where we operate, where everything is done. If we were to say anything different, that would actually be heresy. No joke. That is, yeah.
What?
Right, rovers.
Wait,
Perseverance, solid A. Okay. One more object. What should we make it?
One more. That galaxy. In the top row, the 4th one. That is M109.
I don't think I've ever gone out of my way to see this.
It's in Ursa Major.
Maybe I have. I have. And even through the dire, it looks good. I remember.
TechieMax says rate every asteroid in the sun.
Yeah, let's do let's just rank everything known to humankind. One day we're gonna do just an endless stream where we rank everything in the universe.
We have a lot of things we could rank. We could rank, because Jacob said the space devices. We could do, like different orbiters and things like that. Like Sputnik. I don't know. There's lots. There's lots to do.
Hopefully next time too the audio won't be buggy.
Yeah, I know.
That was funny. Honestly, that was hilarious. So
all the little telescopes. Oh my God, there's so many things that we could rate.
For now, let's stick to these objects here, because if we start rating the Lowell telescopes, there might be conflicts of interests or big issues, or there might be people who just straight up come up here, just drive up to where we're operating and just slam our heads into the table because they have a varying opinion. I'm just kidding. I don't think anyone would slam my head into the table yet. Could happen.
M109?
M109.
That's a pretty one. It's a barred spiral.
It is pretty. And yeah,
I mean, because it's the most barred of the barred spirals.
Yeah, and it is a hidden gem. I think this was one of the nights where we had only just a few people up at the Dire for a program, and this is, I guess, a little bit of a story time here. I was just running a program, and we went through a ton of objects because it was just like 2 people, and they were really happy to just pretty much see anything. And during like the latter half, when we were getting towards just like the end of my itinerary, usually I'll be like, okay, let's look at some things that I've never seen before, or just some objects that like are never really observed because they're not talked about enough. And M109 was on that list. This was just a while ago, and I was like, let's give it a shot. Let's see it. Why not? And like it was no M82, right? M82 is an S for a reason. I'll always say that. But it was a galaxy that you could see. It was one that you could like actually visually discern. And granted, the moon was not out that night, if I remember correctly. So it wasn't a terrible view. It wasn't a considerably worse view than when the moon is out. But it was all right. It was okay, and it is a very barred spiral too. A lot of the other barred spirals, they're either almost edge on, or they're not as barred.
Yeah, exactly. You really can't see the bar. Like, there's one we just did, and I was like, that does not look like a barred spiral.
Yeah, I mean, from this image alone, it almost feels like, because it is just the most barred spiral, it should be higher than C.
I know. Every time I'm about to say something, you say it. So
it's just telepathy. What do you think of a B?
Yeah, I was gonna say B. I think B sounds good.
I think B's fine. I think B's okay. That's a good way to do the first portion of this list.
I feel good about it.
I feel fine. I feel great. There's gonna be people in chat just fuming at some of these choices, especially with Andromeda's placement. That's fine.
Or M1 and Ring.
True, but M1 and Ring, like even with these images, like M1 is still. It's blown out of proportion. It's brighter than it is usually, and like Hubble Space Telescope is not comparable to anything that we're able to base these decisions off of. So, I mean, we could try to do that to an extent, but it won't really save much if we've seen the object enough times to know kind of our specific bias towards it. Like, we saw one of these other, it was this little star cluster here. We're like, oh, that's a cool Hubble Space Telescope image of it.
Ptolemy Cluster.
Yeah, it's because we've never really like seen it a lot before, so we don't really have that side of the bias pushing us to rank it lower. But with M1, like we have enough experience seeing it that we're like, oh, you'll avoid it if the moon's even slightly out because you can't see it. But like when it's dark enough, sure, it looks good. It looks great. And if you have the patience to work a telescope with a camera on it so that you can get a good image of it, then it's really rewarding. And that's why, A. It's good. The Swan.
Go.
Yeah. People are gonna think the Swan got robbed, but note as well, the Swan is where the lagoon is, and the lagoon again, incredibly special to me.
They are equals.
Yes, incredibly special to me. So if it's any consolation, I did not at least let my bias affect me to the point where I just threw it right into S, because both the Swan and Lagoon look great, but the Lagoon is like, yeah, it meant much more to me, and I'm the one, I'm one half of the people ranking these objects, so I had to do it.
What?
Yeah.
I really like the diversity that we have in S. We got Starburst Galaxy, we got a stellar nurseries, 2 of them. We got an elliptical, we got a merging spiral, and elliptical, and even in A, we have supernova, we have planetary, we have open cluster.
I think it's like a clean list because I feel like some people would definitely play it super safe and would just be like, oh, I love all galaxies that are spirals. Let's all put them in A. I love all these nebulae.
They would litter the S and A list. You gotta reserve those.
Yes. Yeah, because if you have like the S and A list overpowering everything, then
there's no point.
Darn right that there's something wrong with the list there then. Because like if you have more S's and if you have more A's, like it should be like a bell curve. And I think that's what we're actually representing perfectly. Yes, you have like just almost the perfect bell curve here, which is hilarious.
And it's not going to be at the end because we're going to put all those globs.
That's true. Yeah.
Right now.
I mean, we could even, I don't know, next time that we're able to do this and stream this and rank more of these objects, we might be able to realize what some of these objects are. Because again, with the Hubble pictures, especially the globs, they all look to be kind of the same thing. They look like the same object, and there are clearly globs that are so much cooler to see with a telescope or with like pretty much anything else than the Hubble Space Telescope. So we'll kind of try to work around that. And for now, yes, it's coming up on 30 seconds to 2 hours live. So we are going to start wrapping it up here.
Yeah, so one thing, I'm looking at the YouTube chat just really quick, and someone asked, hey, when can regular folks come to the observatory? So I want to just address this really quick. So we actually just got news that we are opening up for phase 2A at Lowell Observatory. So we're going to start letting mixed groups of people come in during the day and night. There still is some, regulations with masks and social distancing.
There's a lot of regulations still. I mean, Arizona's doing great.
We are playing it very, very safe, but it's becoming more accessible to people now compared to some of the prices that we had before. It's a little bit more accessible. So April is 2A, and then you can expect probably in the next few months for it to start even being more accessible here. But April is really the start of it. Everything's starting.
Provided everybody stays safe. Right?
Yeah.
Provided everybody stays safe, stay home, wash your hands, wear your mask, just do what you need to and relax. And very, very soon we're going to get back to some normal swings of things here, and it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be fun. I'll be able to talk to groups again. I'll be able to, we'll have a lot of fun. We'll have a lot of fun. And that'll be much sooner than expected too, because, Arizona and even states adjacent are doing fantastic with vaccinations, with making sure people don't get sick, and all the regulations. So yeah, things are playing out.
I think I know a single person who isn't vaccinated in Flagstaff.
I think so too now. Yeah, that's.
I really don't think I know anyone. I think everyone I know is vaccinated.
At least the first shot too. It's becoming super normalized here, which is really nice. So yeah, very soon. Very, very soon. Any other YouTube chats we can pick up on? Any questions?
That's the only question. Other things were just comments about everything. But thank you all for joining us on the YouTube side and on Twitch. I wasn't aware at first that we were doing this.
Yeah, I was not even aware that we were live on YouTube too, but I guess the double stream was still set up. It didn't give me a notification or even show that the double stream was set up on the computer that we started going live with. But that's nice. I mean, we got some more people to, I guess, say hi to, even though we didn't really get to talk to you. But for these Twitch streams, again, anyone who's still in the YouTube chat, these happen almost every Tuesday that we're able to. Sometimes snow gets in the way, sometimes weather, sometimes even just bad scheduling, and we have to work around it. But we are trying
to become more regular with it too. So not only are we going to be doing it Tuesdays after the interactive stargazing, we're trying to do it on some other nights as well. I'm still trying to figure that out because Jacob's still in school and I have a lot of research that I do. So we're still trying to figure things out here. But we should be doing some more regular streams throughout the week besides Tuesday as well on Twitch.
Absolutely, and for anyone who's new to Twitch too, this is going to be much more of a casual time. So we'll have more conversations than just stars, galaxies, etc., etc., etc. Which I'm hoping you all could join us for. So if anyone's still on YouTube right now and haven't come to our Twitch yet, again, right below me is where you could find us. You can just search it up. You can make a quick little account. You can chat. You can use emotes. You can have fun. And it's going to be much more interactive too. So if you're able to come here and talk with us about literally anything, you could ask us how our day was. You could ask us what we ate for dinner or whatever. We'll talk about that. We'll have some fun. And in the future too, we're even looking to diversify the streams as well. So hopefully we'll be able to do even things like maybe even throwing on some related video game and just chilling out and relaxing and playing, because sometimes you gotta take a break from the science, right? You gotta step back and distance yourself a little bit and have some fun, or else you're gonna go crazy.
They're normal people too.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if you're dedicating your life to this field, you gotta take breaks. You gotta be involved in other things, and hopefully that this side of Twitch is kind of representative of that for anybody who is interested in joining us along with that ride. And apparently, a lot of people have been. There have been so many followers in the last couple of days that I don't even think that we would be able to thank you all. Like, we're pushing 100 followers, and we've only been doing this for a handful of days. Like, Twitch has been live for, I think, under a month now. Like, we've only started doing this very, very recently. And we're pushing, actually, the ability to attain affiliate status, which will actually give us more interactability on this front. In fact, after tonight, we should be able to apply for that right off the bat, if I remember correctly from all the goals we've met.
I think so too.
Which will be super, super fun. There will be subscription benefits, etc. That's kind of things that we could talk about next time, or even really talk about on our social media platforms as a whole. But I'm very excited. I think we're both very excited to be able to do this for everybody. And
and look, we just got another follow.
Yeah, I mean,
thank you.
Thank you
Follow.
for that follow. Gregorius. You could correct us if you want. I just like real life, I'm gonna butcher names, and even when they come to usernames, like hey, it's gonna be impossible to really pick out everybody. But thank you for the follow again. Thank you for joining us out here tonight. It's been wonderful. The sky was terrible, and I was kind of sad because we didn't get to do any imaging, and I'm like super busy, so I've been like pulling out my hair every single night from the past week. But this was a wonderful change of pace. We ranked some objects, we argued with chats, we probably made some people very angry. But I mean, you're not seeing success if you don't have haters. I think somebody said that in our very first Twitch stream. So whoever that was, thank you. We miss you, because I don't see that person in chat right now. Again, thank you everybody for the follow tonight. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you
for joining.
to all the viewers on every front, YouTube and Twitch. I hope everybody's kind of enjoyed their stay. So with that, stay safe, stay warm, unless you're in a place where it's already warm, then stay cool. And
Cool.
Bye-bye.
Bye.